If you shower or brush your teeth or try to make your hair look presentable, here's some good news. Dollar Shave Club has a lot of stuff to help you out. Dollar Shave Club delivers everything you need to look, feel, and smell your best. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, even a wipe that leaves your tush feeling tingly clean. All of Dollar Shave Club's products are made with top-shelf ingredients that won't break your budget. You'll feel the difference. Plus, shipping is free with your membership. And here's a great way to try a bunch of Dollar Shave Club's products for just $5. You can get their Daily Essential Starter Set. It comes with Body Cleanser, One Wipe Charlie's, their amazing butt wipes, and their world-famous shave butter. And their best razor, the 6-Blade Executive. Keep the blades coming for a few more bucks a month and add in a shampoo, toothpaste, or anything else you need. Check it all out at dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chad.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Feeling the heat.
Even though it's 110 degrees in this crazy room.
Saturday night at a sweltering Ohio rally, the president raised alarm over ongoing election interference.
We got to stop meddling. We got to stop everybody from attacking us. But there are a lot. Russia's there. China's there.
But by this morning, he was running a fever on Twitter, denying a news report as a complete fabrication, that I am concerned about the meeting my wonderful son Donald had in Trump Tower.
Oh, Trumpy. What are you going to do? I've always said, right, that my biggest fear out of all of this is Donald Jr. is going to get implicated in something and he's going to change the story. Things are going to happen, and that is going to be Trump. If there is a downfall of Trump, it's not going to be something he did, right? We can argue about policy all day. We can argue about a lot of stuff. We can argue about the fact that, it's no argument. I say this. He's got a loose relationship with the truth. He flips, he flops, the whole 9 yards, and he goes on and does his thing. But the reality is, when it comes to serious stuff, his biggest issue that he is going to have is his son. So first there was no meeting. And then there was a meeting, but it was, didn't really know about it. Then there was a meeting, but we didn't really understand what was going on, and there was nothing came out of it. Then it was about adoptions. Then it was about, next thing you know, it's just about to get dirt, no collusion. Hey, dirt's dirt, right? You'll get it from anywhere. I've said it over and over. If you would have given Hillary the opportunity to get dirt that may put President Trump, then candidate Trump, out of business, if you will, and usher her to the White House, she'd have done it in a heartbeat. She would have absolutely done it in a heartbeat. It's not a crime. But lying to the feds, ooh, kids, lying to the feds is not good. And Donald Trump Jr. could have got himself in a wee bit of trouble here. Could have. I'll be honest with you on that, right? So you Trump sycophants out there, they're going to attack me. The reality is the story has changed on numerous occasions. And it's changing again. And a lot of people I've talked to along the way who are huge Trump supporters are saying, you could be right, Chad. Cover up is the thing you get in trouble for. Rarely is it the crime, and this may be one of those times where Trump has stepped in and he's wanting to protect his kid, and in doing so, he may step right in it.
That June 2016 meeting included a Kremlin-linked Russian lawyer and lobbyist, along with the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner, and then campaign chairman Paul Manafort. But today, the president changed his story, dropping the earlier claim that Russian adoption policy had been the focus. This was a meeting to get information on an opponent, totally legal. He adds, I did not know about it.
Well, I find that hard to believe at this point in time, and the flipping and the flopping, and I don't think there's any there still. And I think if there was there, we would know about it, Marco Rubio.
If there was evidence, strong evidence of collusion, I guarantee you it would have been leaked by now. But let's wait for the process to play itself out. And I think that's what should happen. Mueller should continue. He should finish his work, and the truth should come out. And I think that's in the best interest of everyone.
Yeah, I think it's in the best interest of everyone, too. And I want to see it come out and let the truth come out. My biggest issue, though, is the looseness with the truth on this that's going to get you probably in some trouble. That is the reality of it. When you look back at people who get in trouble, people like Bill Clinton, oh man, I'll tell you, oh man, come on now. What was it for? Playing with the truth. That's what it was for. It wasn't because you dipped your toe in it, if you will. It was other things like lying. And when you do that, the feds come. The feds come when you lie. Martha Stewart didn't go to jail because of insider trading. She went to jail because she lied. And the feds don't like being lied to. You tell the truth, it'll set you free. Don't give them anything to go on. Tell them everything that you can tell them. Be open, be honest about it. And they don't got anything. But what happened here is I have a feeling that Don Jr. got himself in trying to help his pops, right? Thinking he was doing the right thing. And what ends up happening along the way? Story gets muddied. Not everybody's on the same page. It's flipping and flopping. And I don't think that looks good for Don Jr. And when it doesn't look good for Don Jr., Dad's going to step in. And when Dad steps in, that's what they're looking for in the gotcha moment.
Ken Starr, back with the Clinton investigation, determined that lying to the public could be in and of itself a ground for impeachment.
Think about that for a second. There may be a witch hunt when it comes to the Russia. But along the way, during the witch hunt, by fabricating stories, by saying this and not saying that, there's a reason that Mueller's going to interview him last, probably, Don Jr., is because he's going to have all of the notes in front of him. They're going to know everything they need to know. They're going to know all of these things, and they're looking for the ha-ha moment. All you had to do was, look, met with some people, thought it was going to be this. It turned out to be nothing. We were looking for dirt. They said they had some dirt. They wanted to talk about a bunch of other crap. It was a nothing burger, and you move on. But instead, story 1 becomes story 2. Story 2 becomes story 3. Story 3 becomes story 4. Story 4 becomes story 5. Everybody's got a little bit of a different story. And now the aha moment that they're looking for may be there. Can't get collusion, right? Because that, as Marco Rubio said, at that some point in time, that would have come out by now. But the reality is, you've said some things, that looseness with truth, particularly when it comes to your son, and how much are you willing to go to the mat for your kid? I think Trump is willing to go all the way to the mat for his kid. And the fear is, come election time, that there is a blue wave, and then all of a sudden he's looking over and he doesn't see his pals and his buddies over there on the right that could protect him. And instead it's the left, and they're going to be saying, impeach, 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 impeach. It's frustrating. It is. The tweeting, the craziness, the wackiness, the entire drama that surrounds you. And what I also think is frustrating about is what's going to happen from here on out. Is this what politics is going to be like from now on? Is catching people in the gotcha moments? Frustrating. It is. But he's got a real loose relationship at times with the truth. And he changes and he flip-flops. And some of it you just look and go, A lot of what it is, it's fishing stories. I caught a fish that was this big. Well, the fish was really that big. That's a lot of what his truth is. I saw something in the sky. I couldn't identify it was a UFO. I think it was a plane. It was probably a plane. There was something there. That's going to catch him. And Don Jr., they're looking around. He wants to protect his dad. His dad wants to protect his son. People are willing to go to the mat for each other, their family. And there's one thing that I can never deny is Trump loves his kids. Absolutely loves his kids, adores his kids. I think Don Jr. got himself in over his head in situations, was catfished somewhat, and this is coming back to bite him in the ass. And Pops doesn't want to see that. And how much of a part did he play along the way that's going to get him in trouble? And that's why when you sit there and they're going to, because you know you're getting brought in, what's going to happen from there? Better have your stories lined up, kids. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Hope you're doing well. We've got a Twitter poll up right now, and I'm hearing from several of you. Some of you mad at me, of course, because I'm not a Trump sycophant and going to go along with everything. And others are going, this disturbs me. How do you feel about the president admitting that he knew of a meeting at Trump Towers with his son and several Russians? And 12% say it's fake news. 19% say it's confusing, but 50% of you right now say it's bad for Trump. 19% you say, what meeting? Right? Because you're like busy doing other stuff. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
On the stand, Gates briefly glanced at Manafort. They're sitting about 20 feet apart from each other. Now, that was before he admitted that the two were involved in criminal activity together. Now, the attorneys representing Manafort have built their defense around painting Gates as a liar, the culprit behind the alleged crimes of tax evasion and bank fraud. During Gates' testimony, his credibility will be crucial to the prosecution.
So Gates has said that they knew exactly what was going on. Of course they did. Of course they did. Durr. How could you not know what's going on? Just, look, I am not going to sit here and paint either of these cats as wonderful human beings, right? They had money in other bank accounts. They made foreign dollars, and they didn't bring it home and give it to the U.S. like the U.S. wanted them to. We can argue about whether or not that's, you should do that. You should, but they didn't. And because of that, they're in some trouble. Still nothing to do with Russia, right? We've just talked about the meeting and the son and Don Jr. and wow. Still nothing to do with Russia. I think the only person, or maybe two, depending on son-in-law, Jared Kushner, the only two people that have an issue here when it comes to Russia and Trump are those two. Kushner potentially and Don Jr. This other stuff is let's get as many people as we possibly can with the potential of maybe they knowing something and maybe have taken meetings and maybe been in the same situation where Don Jr. was. That as I start to look, as more and more pieces start to come together, I start to say, okay, cool. This is about Don Jr. Manafort is just somebody they thought, hey, he was associated. He's got some dealings in Russia with people that, in the Ukraine who are pro-Putin, and he made a ton of money over there. He's a lobbying guy. But the reality is that he's now just something that they're going to finish, but that's not going to get them anything closer to Trump and what they're looking for. But, Chad, do you think that he's dirty, Manafort? Probably. Do I think that people go over to Europe and elsewhere and lobby and get big dollars from all kinds of people throughout Europe and the Middle East and Southeast Asia, and they put it in bank accounts all over the globe? I absolutely do. Is he the only one? No. Is he probably going to get popped because there's a certain guilt by association? Yes. Do they really care about Manafort in this altogether? No. But now that they've started it, they've got to finish it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from you. Each and every day, we break it down for you in a way that is smoking hot. We simply call this our urban word of the day.
It's time for the urban word of the day, fam.
What? Right now?
Time to get a little more hip on the streets.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Urban word of the day.
So you've heard of the word hangry, right? That's where you're hungry, and because you're hungry, you're angry. This one's a good one. Jangry. You see something somebody's got, you're jealous of that, which makes you angry. Therefore, you simply become jangry. Oh, I'm jangry of that, Chad. Oh, me too, kids, me too. What are you jangry of? Is your urban word of the day.
Thank you for saying that in dated urban slang so that I'll understand you. That there was the urban word of the day. We damn stretched your cranium.
So we have a poll, Kate, up right now, and you can take it. It's pretty simple. It hasn't really to do strictly with Trump and him now knowing, maybe not knowing, kind of knowing, but admitting knowing, but not quite. People are telling, apparently advisors are telling him, shh, stop, enough of the tweeting, enough saying stuff, stop it. How do you feel about the president admitting that he knew of a meeting at Trump Tower with his son and several Russians? 16% of you say it's fake news. 16% say it's confusing. 49% say it's bad for Trump. 19% say what meeting? I'm in the confusing kind of bad for Trump because I'm so confused by the tweets back and forth and the ridiculousness of it all. And he needs to stay off the tweeter at some point in time. He's got to cut back the tweetering and just deal with, hey, this is going to take its course. I'll deal with it when I have to, when it's absolutely must. Until then, I'm going to go do presidential stuff because that's what I need to do. That's what this office is. And we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Fighting it in the court of public opinion. Your base already believes everything you say. The other side doesn't. People are looking now to read between the lines and get you in a gotcha moment. Don't give them more. Get your gotcha moments. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. ZipRecruiter is amazing, people. So here it is. It's a Monday, right? You're sitting there on this Monday and you think to yourself, man, I need to hire somebody fast. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Benson and you can post your job for free today. With ZipRecruiter, you get over 100 of the web's leading job boards. That's where, boom, the job goes. Then their smart matching technology starts looking and finding the best resumes and telling them, hey, try this job, try this job. Smart matching technology comes in, highlights the best of those. Boom. Within 24 hours, guess what? A quality candidate comes through the site. 80% of the time, you'd be one of those. What are you waiting for? With results like that, it's no wonder ZipRecruiter is the highest rating hiring site in America. And right now, my listeners can try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BENSON. ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. Alex Jones getting yanked from everything. We'll talk about that. Is it right? Is it wrong? 50-50 birthdays. What are these things? Oh, goodness me. I'll tell you what they are. They're a pain in the butt. Oh, Chad, come on. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The president, look, this is no mystery, okay? He believes strongly, he says he knows for a fact, obviously, that he did not collude with the Russians, and he thinks this investigation that Mueller's conducting is solely about collusion, and that's how he feels very strongly about that. My position, based on everything I know about this case, is the following. I believe it is in the best interest of the president and of the United States of America and the American people for that investigation to run the course, for all the truth to come out, and I think that's the best thing that could happen for him, and I think that's the best thing that could happen for the country.
Yeah, Marco Rubio right there. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And I have said I don't see any there when it comes to collusion in Russia. My fear has always been, like so many of these things, it's the cover-up, not the crime. And Don Jr. is going to get sucked into this, and that right there is the issue. That is the issue. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. John, what's happening?
Hey, Chad, a couple of things. First off, this investigation has gone on a long time. Nothing has come of it. If you carry on anything for a long enough time, you're going to hit a gotcha moment sooner or later. I don't care what the issue is. With all the stuff that the past administration skated on, the DNC and, trying to rig a primary, you had the gun running to the cartels, you had Benghazi, you had the sale of uranium to Russia, you had the deal with the IRS, all that stuff that they looked at and nothing happened. You had all that FBI, all those horrible tweets from the FBI agents, there's no bias here. And it all just gets swept under the rug, and this thing just continues on and on and on, and there's a lot less here than there was in any of those other investigations. That's one thing that irritates the crap out of me. A second thing is the Republicans need to get some gonads, and the next time there is a Democrat in office, they need to treat him the same way, because Trump has been treated like crap from pretty much every Democrat and pretty much every news organization, sans Fox News, since he's been in office. He has gotten no breaks from anybody, and it's just a gotcha, and it's really getting freaking old.
It is, my man. I appreciate you holding on. Thanks so much. Look, he's right about one thing. There was that book they wrote many years ago, those guys in New York, those police detectives, I think, that everybody commits a felony a day and they just don't know they do. And if you can finally dig something up, I think the reality is that that's probably true. Look, they're going to push this as far as they can. When it's going to come to an end, I don't know. The collusion side of things, as Marco Rubio has said,
if there was strong evidence of collusion, I guarantee you it would have been leaked by now. But let's wait for the process to play itself out. And I think that's what should happen. Mueller should continue. He should finish his work, and the truth should come out. And I think that's in the best interest of everyone.
I do too. I think it's in the best interest. My issue is Trump's getting himself in trouble by tweeting out things he doesn't need to be tweeting, by putting his legal team always on the defensive, and by not letting this thing rest. Let it go. It's going to happen. Like, this is happening. No, it's not. It is, right? You're on the roller coaster. It has left the little area where you had a chance to get out. It's now starting to go up that big hill. You want to get off. It's happening. So at some point in time, you let it happen. Let everything happen. You think, you tell everybody, you didn't know, no collusion, none of that stuff. Boom. Then let it be. Don Jr. is another thing. Don Jr. wanted to help Pops, potentially got himself in over his head. People say it's because he's dealing with people smarter. No, he's not. He's looking for stuff. Everybody thinks that all of the Trumps are just absolutely stupid. They're not. You're meeting with somebody who says maybe you got some information. I've said it over and over. If Hillary Clinton had a chance to get information on Trump, which she tried to, as did everybody else on everybody else in that situation, both sides of the aisle, you're going to look for it. It's ugly. It's nasty. It is. Politics is gross. Meet a politician, you're like, ooh, I got to take a shower. Yeah. The swamp is real. Is it right? No, I don't think it's right. Is it what happens? Absolutely. Somebody tweeted at me today and said, you know what it reminds me of? It's Lance Armstrong. Was he the only cheater, if you will? No, he just did it better than everybody else. And I think that's the way a lot of people feel, right? And what happened? The French came after him until they basically broke him. That was their goal, was to get him. They never caught him cheating. He just ran out of money to defend himself. Over and over. How could you steal the Tour de France from us? Ha ha ha! At some point in time, you just go, let it happen. Let the Mueller investigation play itself out. Then go from there. All you're doing now is giving them more ammunition to come back and contradict what your son is going to say when he's probably going to be the last person that Mueller talks to. All of those things. Plus, you've got a midterm coming up. And let me tell you something. Democrats with the chance to subpoena is something you don't want. So focus on the wins. Do the things you have to do. Let the investigation play itself out. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from you. So 40% of Americans, right? According to the Freedom Forum Institute annual State of the First Amendment, or the SOFA survey, 40% of them are unfamiliar with their First Amendment rights. 40%. Among those who could name one or a few, the rights to freedom of speech was the most commonly remembered, with 56% of respondents being able to list it. The other rights didn't fare so well. 15% of respondents naming freedom of religion, 13% naming freedom of the press, 12% naming freedom of peaceful assembly, and a measly 2% name freedom to petition the government. Let's not forget about the right to bear arms. Remember that one there? 40% can't name any of those rights. You know what my favorite right is? It's this one.
You gotta fight for your right to party.
They put that one on the bill like really far down there, but it's pretty awesome. It's way awesome. You guys didn't know that was 12A and 12B. Got to fight for your right to party. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So, Alex Jones. I'm not a huge fan. I think it's all hooey, right? Like, I think a bunch of it, to me, I just find it to be, it's the shock moment. It's preying on people that are always too smart for the room. That's why they know every conspiracy theory out there. It is all of that stuff. And I've had just a few dealings with Alex, but the reality is I look at this and I think to myself, if that's your cup of tea, it's not mine. But Apple, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and several others are yanking his podcast, his channels, all of those things, because he has essentially not listened. He got scolded on more than a few occasions by a lot of them. You can't, that's hate, that's bad, that's evil, you're spreading lies, blah, 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 blah. And they've decided they've had enough. Facebook had him in 30-day suspension period. He violated the policies again and again, apparently, so they've shut him down completely. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of them are deciding what they can, and people say, well, how do you feel? It's Alex Jones. First of all, right, if you're Alex Jones, this is the best thing that could happen to you. Because the conspiracy can now ramp up. It is absolutely a conspiracy. They're coming for me. You knew they were going to do it. That's the stuff that he's going to do on his InfoWars and all this stuff. They're coming. I myself, I'm a free market guy. Let the marketplace decide. And my issue has always been with a lot of these companies is, look, don't tell us that you're trying to get rid of hate when I can go find a bunch of left-leaning people who are full of hate. I can go out there and find a bunch of songs that have horrific things saying about women and all kinds of stuff. Don't tell me that you're going to be the judgment of morality. Do I find him to be, I think he preys on the meek, if you will, the meek-minded. The meek-minded. That's not very nice. Worms, bugs, they're all non-sex, non-gender. It's happening to all of us. They're changing the world. Blah. You know what he does, right? Sandy Hook was an inside job, 9/11 inside job. They're all crisis actors, blah, 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 blah. I don't find it to be at all. I find it to be, it's the way I look at it. I don't listen. If it's your cup of tea, great. It's not mine. But when it comes to shutting down this kind of speech, I think to myself, I don't think it's good. I don't. And the reason is because allow Americans to decide what they want to do for themselves. Okay? Allow Americans to decide, I want to do this. I choose to do this for whatever reason. I believe what he's saying. I just find him to be, entertaining, whatever the reason is. Allow Americans, and it's the same thing I say with the voting and all of this stuff and the fake news, is that if you are getting fooled by that, that's on you. Isn't it? If you're getting fooled by this stuff, that's on you. Allow Americans to let America choose. But Chad, what about the fake news? Isn't going anywhere. What do you think? They shut down 50 Facebook websites and all of a sudden the Russians can't do this no more. They shut us down. It doesn't work that way. Right? The Chinese, the North Koreans, even some of our allies will play part of the game. You don't think we spy on our allies? Of course we do. And they spy on us. Let America choose. It's the same thing with Alex Jones. When you take away that choice, first of all, you martyr him. Secondly, and this is vitally important, you play into what he's trying to do. Let America choose. If America's not smart enough to make certain choices, is what it is. Like I said, I don't have anything against him. I don't watch his show. I don't listen to him. But I think doing this is not good. It's not good at all. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. There's some of you Alex Jones listeners, I'm sure they're going to send me hate mail. I'm okay with that. I really am. Some of you, and I get a lot of you go, I listen to him every once in a while because he's entertaining, because I think a lot of people do. They listen to him like he's, they don't look at him any different than they look at maybe Sacha Baron Cohen. Just a different thing where it's satire, but the problem is people who watch Sacha Baron Cohen, they know it's satire. The problem with Alex is there's a lot of people out there, they don't get that it's not real. And that's scurry. 323-538-2423 Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. MyPillow, I slept great this weekend. And I'll sleep great tonight even though I'm traveling. I love MyPillow. I love it. It's so easy to take care of. 100% machine washable and dryable. It's made right here in the USA of America. Backed by a 10-year warranty. Absolutely incredible. You will sleep like you have never slept. Not since you were in thine mother's womb have you slept so well. So right now, this is what MyPillow is doing for you. Got a special for my listeners. Promo code is Benson, Benson. All right? Are you guys ready for this? Can you guys, I'm asking you, can you handle this? I think you can. But I do worry about it because sometimes I give you stuff and it's so amazing. I'm like, okay, here's what you do. All right? It's 50% off. Are you ready for this? Buy 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows, 50% off. Boom! Right there. All you have to do is call 800-983-4975. That's 800-983-4975. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. You're going to get the best, a better night's sleep like you cannot believe. It is the world's most comfortable pillow. Call 800-983-4975 or go to MyPillow.com. Promo code is Benson. Use it, and you will love your 2 premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, 50% off. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Deep states? No. Deep doo-doo? Yeah. The Chad Benson Show.
Movies this weekend. Easy. How about that, huh? 2 weeks in a row for Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible. It's the 6th installment. Did better than... it held itself up pretty well. I think a lot of people were surprised. Christopher Robbins came in second, and The Spy Who Dumped Me came in third. Kind of disappointment. It is that time of year. Kids are going back to school. A lot of places across the country, kids are already back in school. Arizona kids are back in school today. So I know Jack has a couple weeks before he goes back, and he got much later than a lot of other kids. So, but they kind of dump him at the end of the year. But this was one of the ones where it knew it would have very little competition. And a lot of people still saying it's his best. I've yet to see it. I probably will over the weekend, though, kids. Over the weekend. Can I just say we lost somebody I grew up with, all right? Maybe you had a regular awesome mom. Maybe you did, but on Thursday nights I watched Different Strokes, and there was a character on there who got a spin-off show, and she taught us all about something.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. Facts of life. When the world never seems to be living up to your dreams, and suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you.
Yes, yes. Charlotte Rae passed away, 92 years young, born in Milwaukee, 1926, started on Broadway, had a long, illustrious career. Get ready for this. From 1954, that's when her television debut was, all the way until 2014 when she was on Girl Meets World, and her last performance, if you will, or interview was this year, Broadway, Beyond the Golden Age. But I loved the Facts of Life. Thursday night was the jam. I had Different Strokes, right? And then from Different Strokes, we had what? We got the Facts of Life. Because you take the good, you take the bad. And can I give you guys a hint? Let's say you got a song in your head and it's driving you crazy. I don't care what song it is. Any song. You want to get out of your head? Sing the Facts of Life tune, composed and written by who? Alan Thicke. It'll get out of your head. Nuh-uh. Mm-hmm. Surefire. Will not help the hiccups, but it'll get that annoying song out of your head. That I do know. She passed away, age 92. Miss Garrett, you will be sadly missed. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Were you a Blair? See, you grew up in the time. I liked Blair. Blair was my favorite. She was hot at the time. Looking back on it, but Lisa Welch at the time, kind of hot. Kind of 80s hot. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We have a poll question up. How do you feel about the president kind of admitting that he knew of a meeting at Trump Towers with his son and several Russians? 16% of you say fake news. 16% say it's confusing. 50% of you say it's bad for Trump. 18% said, what meeting? Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can text us as well. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Feeling the heat.
Though it's 110 degrees in this crazy room.
Saturday night at a sweltering Ohio rally, the president raised alarm over ongoing election interference.
We got to stop meddling. We got to stop everybody from attacking us. But there are a lot. Russia's there. China's there.
But by this morning, he was running a fever on Twitter, denying a news report as a complete fabrication, that I am concerned about the meeting my wonderful son Donald had in Trump Tower.
Now that I've got sources. I heard he had a fever of a Pringle. That's what I heard. I know that's true. That's what I heard. Look, when all of this stuff started to happen, I'm like, all right, well, let's let it, play itself out. And the longer it played itself out, I think the more that people common sense people who get it, who aren't a sycophant of Hillary and the Democrats and about the resist movement, and the other people who are sycophants of Trump, who are just like, I am going to listen to whatever Trump has to say. No. That great middle that Kasich talked about, the alt middle that we are here, the longer this went, the more we're like, yeah, there's no collusion here because people can't keep their mouth shut. As we all know, at some point in time, it would come out, and that hadn't happened yet.
If there was strong evidence of collusion, I guarantee you it would have been leaked by now. But let's wait for the process to play itself out. And I think that's what should happen. Mueller should continue. He should finish his work, and the truth should come out. And I think that's in the best interest of everyone.
Ha! The truth! Will it set him free? Now, my issue has always been Don Jr. got himself into trouble. And Trump will do whatever he can to protect his kid, as just about anybody would, right? As just about anybody would, we will do all that we possibly can to protect our kid. But in doing so, will he do something that gets him in trouble? And his issue has been he's changing his story. And that is just, there's an issue there, kids. You change your story here, you change your story there, there a story, here a story, everywhere a story. One day it's this, the next day it's this. Well, then it's kind of like this, and this over here, and that's no big deal. Stop looking around. It was not a big deal. There is an issue. And it's his kid. I'm telling you, Don Jr. got himself into a mess. He has. That's my feeling. It's always been my feeling. If he's going to do anything, it's about protecting Don Jr. Because I don't think there's any collusion. I think Rubio's right. At some point in time, we'd have figured this out because people can't keep their mouth shut and the stuff leaks all the time. Sometimes it's on purpose. Other times it's because, well, people like to leak things. There hasn't been any of that. So you move off the Russia collusion, then you're on to conspiracy and obstruction of justice and all those kind of things. And that is an issue because everything seems to flip and flop and flop and flip. And he's out there and his advisors are telling him, stop saying anything. Stop talking about it. Stop tweeting about it. Because when you do, then the defense attorneys, your people, have to go on the attack and they have to try to sort something out and say this and say that. Stop doing it.
Defending his eldest son and namesake and defending himself appeared to ignite the president's frustration enough to make this claim about the media. They can also cause war. They are very dangerous and sick. Top advisor Kellyanne Conway offered this explanation.
He said it really refers to those who aren't always telling the truth and who are giving emotion over information.
The whole war thing. What? Wait, war? What? What are you talking? Really? Enough of that. It's not helping. It's not. I'm getting bored with all this crap. I would like Mueller to wrap it up, right? It's time to fish or cut bait. That's the way a lot of people feel. It's going to take its time. It's going to happen. It is. But when you flip and flop and you change stories and then you start to do some stuff, then people start to pay attention. And this doesn't look good when you flip-flop. Now, the Trump fans, and there are fans out there. I don't call them, they're fans. They're followers. They're going to defend him at all costs because he's defending his kid. I understand. I think all of us do the same thing with our kid. We do everything we can to protect our child. Somebody sent me today, it's no big deal. Who cares what Don Jr. did? He'll just pardon him and we'll move on. A little bit bigger than that.
Ken Starr, back with the Clinton investigation, determined that lying to the public could be, in and of itself, a ground for impeachment.
Ooh. They're looking. And let's also look to November, right? So November comes. Here comes November, right? Elections come. Let's just say the blue wave. Whoosh, it's a tsunami. All of a sudden, Trump's looking over. Not too many familiar faces. Not too many friendly faces. And they have the power of the subpoena. And it's going to get hot and uncomfortable. And you hear the I word, impeachment. Absolutely. I wouldn't want any part of that. I'd focus on the things that I have to focus on, try to get over the finish line in November with keeping everything intact the way it is, but know that at some point in time, even in the best of times, we like to check power in this country. We're like, you got too much. We're not about one party. So we'll break it up. This one comes with a little bit different caveat, which is you've got a resistance being mounted by powerful Democrats with maybe the blue tsunami that tells them, you guys have subpoena power. Next thing you know, they start talking impeachment. Oh, that's not what you want. If you're Trump, you should be out there touting your successes, touting your victories, touting the things that you think this is where this should be going, right? Here. This is where this should be going. You guys should stick with us because I'm giving you this. The Republicans are giving you this. They want to take that away from you. They want to put more regulations on you. I want to take them off. They want to get back the taxes. I want to take them and give them to you. They want to do all of these things. They want to hurt the economy. Are you happy with your 401k? They want to stifle business. I want to grow business. They had opportunities to talk to North Korea and Iran, and they gave Iran what I seem to think is a horrible deal. And North Korea, they really do much with. Nobody has. I tried. They don't want to solve immigration. They want to keep it status quo. I want to try to solve it. I've gone about it and maybe made a mess here when it comes to the kids, but I'm trying to do something here. You want that? And then they'd say, and they don't want me around. Ooh. What would that do to the economy? Ooh. Tout your victories. Let it take course. It's going to happen with the Mueller investigation. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Hope you're doing well on this most festive of days, kids. And it is festive of days. I've got a poll question up, and it is about this. And, you know, this is what I like about my audience. My audience, you guys out there are as about alt-middle as it can be, which is what we are here. We're independent, free-minded people. And I asked, how do you feel about the president admitting he kind of knew of a meeting at Trump Towers with his son and several Russians? 16% of you say it's fake news. All right. 16% say it's confusing. I get that. But 50% of you say it's bad for Trump. And I think those are the common sense people out there going, yeah, this doesn't look good for Trump. Even if you're a supporter of Trump. And I don't want my president to fail. Right? I don't want him to fail. I want him to succeed. But this doesn't look good. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can tweet at us as well, and at Chad Benson Show. You can text the program 323-538-2423, 323-538-2423. Somebody just tweeted at me. I can't believe you would start off your show with this instead of more important events recently took place. Tolerant left attacking Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, for instance. Maybe how 1A is being threatened by Alex Jones' band. We've talked about both of those throughout the show. We will be touching on those throughout the show. Right? Remember, it's their business. With Alex Jones, and they want to shut Alex Jones down. It's their business. Do I like it? No. Do I think America should have the right to choose? Absolutely. 100%. 100%. But your business. That's the way you want to do business. As frustrating it is. But hey, you're playing in. As far as I'm concerned, you're playing into what Alex wants. You're making him a martyr. You're playing into it. That's what you want to do? Knock yourself out. But it is your business. Do I like it? No. I think America should have a choice. If you want to listen, listen. If you don't want to listen, don't listen. If you don't want to watch, don't watch. Do I get frustrated with the ever-moving goalpost and all the social media of, hey, 1 minute you're suspended for this, next minute you're not suspended for this, the next minute this person over here can say this, and you say this, and you're in trouble? No. Do I think it leans completely to the left advantage? Absolutely. Is it frustrating? 100%. But here's the thing. You're a conservative out there. You don't like the outcomes? Start your own. Well, I don't have that kind of money. There'll be an audience. If there's an audience, you can find it. Real free thinking opportunists for people to go do things. Say what you want to say. Be who you want to be. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club. Use it every day. I do. Everything that I need, hair care products, face products, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, toothbrush, everything I need to look, smell, and feel fantastic. That's what Dollar Shave Club delivers to me with free shipping, top shelf ingredients, not going to break my budget. You want that same thing. Absolutely you do. So now is your chance to join. $5, free shipping. Here's what you get. Daily Essentials Starter Set. All right, comes with Body Cleanser, One Wipe Charlie's, Dr. Carver's Shave Butter, the Executive Razor, 6-blade. 6-blade Executive Razor. Fantastic. amazing. A few extra bucks a month, they continue to come to you. You're going to love all of the stuff they have. The body cleanser, the shampoo, the conditioner, the hair care products, the paste, the gel. You name it, they've got it, and you're going to feel incredible. $5. Join today. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Take the poll question about Trump and the meeting at Trump Towers on Facebook or at Chad Benson Show. You can also text us 323-538-2423. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Hashtag me too. Hashtag immigration reforms. Hashtag help. I'm trapped in a hashtag factory and I can't get out. The Chad Benson Show.
So think about this, right? You're a kid. You got a lemonade stand, and then all goes to hell.
A gunpoint robbery in North Carolina has left police stunned. That's because the victim was a 9-year-old who was running a lemonade stand. The terrified child says a 14-year-old boy held the gun to his stomach, then ran off with his money tin. Police say the weapon turned out to be a BB gun, but the boy's father says his son is still shaken up.
That's not cool. What is wrong with people? Right? Why would you? There's a guy in Muncie, Indiana, right? And I've posted a picture of him on Facebook, and he's old school. I call him the OG dad, right? He's got OG parenting, and he's sitting out in his yard, and he's got an old style card table, like one of those old kitchen tables, and he's got a cardboard thing that says "free ass whoopins," right? Free ass whoopins. And he's sitting there. He's got this paddle, looks like a mini cricket bat. And he's OG. He's OG. That's what this kid needs. Who would do something like that, right? Who would that's your master plan in life? As I'm going to rob a kid who's got a lemonade stand?
He's been out there a couple Saturdays before and never had an incident like this happen. We kind of explained it to him, bad things do happen to good people. You never know when it's going to happen to you.
Well, at least he didn't get shot, right? That's always a good thing. It's just stupid. It really is. And you're thinking to yourself, the first question I have is, where's your dad? Like the 14-year-old or whatever, how old the kid ends up. Where's your pops? Right? Because your dad's right there. You're out selling lemonade. Your dad's right there. You're trying to be a little entrepreneur. Normally we do these stories, and it's about how somebody came and shut you down because you didn't actually file the right paperwork to have your lemonade stand. But I guarantee you, almost to a certainty, that other kid probably doesn't have a dad, and if he does, it's probably not a good dad.
It's pretty low, despicable in my book, and I wouldn't believe somebody would stoop that low to steal money from him. And he's just trying to make some money to buy a riding lawnmower. So, yeah, very low in my book. Absolutely. Very low. Very, very, very low. You know what's good about the kid? Because here's the thing. What's he doing? He's buying, he's buying his own lemonade, selling his lemonade, taking the money, trying to put together enough money to buy a riding lawnmower because he's going to go out and mow lawns. He's a little entrepreneur, and just because things go a little, life gives you some lemons, you really do make lemonade.
Well, the boy was right back out there selling lemonade again yesterday. This time, his parents were by his side. He also runs a lawn mowing business. In that instance, the crook got away with $17.
Stupid idiots. I swear. That little kid needs an ass. 17 or 14-year-old, whatever it is, right? He needs an ass whooping. He needs that guy in Muncie, Indiana with the paddle. Chad, that's so wrong that you'd say something like, oh, it's not. Get over yourself. Right? What's the side effect when your dad or mom gave you a little whooping? I'm not talking about beating. Beating and whoopings are two different things. Getting slapped on the hand or in your butt, right? What was the side effect? Little respect? Right? I'm not talking about somebody whooping you and beating you, closed fist, beating you to your unconscious. I'm not talking about that. Well, studies show from where I sit, it wasn't the worst thing that can happen to you. And again, I preface this was there's a difference between a whooping, if you will, a smack, and a beating. Right? I think we all understand that. when you cross a line. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We'll touch more on Alex Jones. Is it his assault on his First Amendment right? Also, a weekend of violence in Chicago. One culprit may be the culprit for all of it, some people are saying. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Chicago was Chicago over the weekend, and they think they can link everything together.
It's a rainy downpour here right now. But over the weekend, we had two very hot summer days. We're talking temperatures in the 80s and 90s. And authorities are not blaming the weather, but say during hot weather, they do see an increase in the amount of crime. And that's what we saw this weekend. As many as 10 dead.
Hot. Did you hear that, producer Phil? It was hot over the weekend, and because of that, people are angry. I golfed yesterday. It was 111 degrees. While I wanted to maybe shoot my clubs at times, I never thought to myself, I am so upset I could just bust a cap off at another golfer. No. There's an issue in Chicago in certain areas. Let me tell you, Chicago, for those of you who don't know, very safe city. Minus certain blocks. Outside of that, I've been to Chicago on numerous occasions. Beautiful, fun. I didn't worry about anything. There are places you go and places you don't go, like any other big city in the world. But they have issues. Big time.
Most of this crime is happening in two parts of the city that have been dealing with crime for a long time, and officials are still working on figuring out how to bring the numbers down in those areas. They say they're working on trying to get illegal guns off the streets, but as we saw this weekend, that is still a big problem, something they haven't quite figured out just yet and still needs a lot of work.
A lot of work. Getting guns off the street. You know the best way to get illegal guns off the street? Take them from law-abiding citizens. That'll get people to move. Chad, are you saying something about Chicago? A little bit. A little bit. So if you haven't heard, Alex Jones has been yanked. No way. Yeah, he's been absolutely taken off YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes. Now, you could still get the app in like the Apple Store and a couple things. And the reason for that is because it's the app. It's not actually any of the content. You're just downloading an app. But he's being, boom, it's gone. What do you think, Alex?
What we do know is there's a cover-up going on.
What we do know is there's a cover-up going on. Cover-up. Now, back in July, less than a month ago, Zuckerberg was asked about this. And why you take, somebody like Alex Jones and InfoWars off your platform?
The principles that we have on what we remove from the service are, if it's going to result in real harm, real physical harm, or if you're attacking individuals, then that content shouldn't be on the platform.
What we do know is there's a cover-up going on here. Now, I am not a fan of Alex Jones. You may be. I've already gotten some of Alex's listeners who've called me horrible things, which is a solid way to start a conversation. Way to win over the masses. And it shows me everything that I need to know about that. And I've got some other ones who've texted me and said, he's funny, but I can't take him serious. But Chad, his First Amendment rights are being impeded on. No, he still can say the things he wants to say. He can't do it on their platform. They've decided no. And in the end, it is their platform, right? You want to say that you should be able to serve a cake to whoever you want to be able to serve a cake to. It's their platform. If they want to serve it, say, hey, we're going to serve this message. This is what it is. It's our platform. And we decide who gets to stay, who gets to go. But it's not fair. But it's theirs. Can't have it both ways, kids. No, it's not fair. We're not saying you can't have a cake. You just want to serve you a cake. They're not saying you can't say these things. They're saying you can't do it here. Come up with a better platform. Give somebody the platform that they can go say and do the things that they want to do. It's that simple. Apple's saying, hey, you got hate speech. There's no way I got hate speech. I got to tell you guys, no way. Hate speech is wrong. Your platform is simple. I think 9/11 was an inside job. Does this thing, right? What are some of his other wacky ones? Is it frogs? Are we frog people? Is that some of them, Phil? It's like frog
Sandy
people.
Hook crisis actors.
Crisis actors, Sandy Hook. None of those kids are real. None of them dead. Sandy Hook's not even a real place. It's a made-up place. Like, it's totally made up, like New York City. It's made up. It's not even real. That's where Batman lives. Baloney. Gotham is real. Chad, you're not being nice. I'm just being honest. It's their platform, right? I get sick and tired of it because you just say something and then you're in trouble for it, but you weren't in trouble for it 6 months ago, and they're playing around with the algorithms. They're trying to figure stuff out. You were in trouble for it. This person could say something on the left and they don't get in trouble for it. You say something and you're in trouble for it. It is what it is. But I also realize it's their platform. And if they want to say, hey, you can't use our platform, that's your platform. It's not my platform. That's your platform. You built that. Is what it is. Other side of things, start your own. Right? When it comes to Alex Jones and people like he has had his First Amendment rights impeded on. No, he's still allowed to say the things he wants to say. He still has platforms he can do that. He's got a radio show. Right? You can find a ton of streaming services. He could do it through his app. He can do all the things he used to do. What'd you say earlier, Phil? That one time he was on what? He was on shortwave?
Yeah, when I first heard of him, he was doing a shortwave radio program.
There you go. You do CB radio? Breaker 19, Sandy Hook is an inside job, 9/11. Those kids were actually flying the plane.
Police State 2000.
Oh, God, his people come out of the woodwork, and they're just awful trolls. They are. But he's not being impeded from saying those things. They're just saying you can't do it on our platform. Do I think it's right? No, I think you should be. I think you should allow it to be there. Let the American public choose. If you want to put a disclaimer on some of his stuff, I don't have a problem with that. But let the American public choose. Right? Let them choose. If you want to see this, it's here. If you don't want to see it, there you go. Let them choose. Let the American public, and so far, look, he's got billions of views. He's been an unmitigated success, whether you like him or not. I don't listen to his show. I don't watch any of his stuff. The stuff I have seen, I'm like, and I move on. He's playing to a certain segment of society, and some people, they enjoy the satire. Other people, they don't get that it's satire. They don't get that it's not real. Is what it is. But I think the American public is smart enough to go, you know what? I don't know if I really want to have a piece of that. And some people go, I believe it all. I want to watch it all. And I will. That's up to you. That's the way I think it should be. It should be up to you. But in saying that, I also realize that we live in a country where we scream that we want everybody to have their own opportunities to do their own thing, and it's your business. You should be allowed to serve whoever you want to serve, and blah, 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 blah. This is their business. This is their platform. They've set out rules. He is, and look, some people I look and go, yeah, that's tough to say that's a rules violation. With Alex, it's not as cut and dry as like, it's tough. He more than skirts the line on a lot of things. And some of his followers, and many of you listening right now, some of you may listen to him, and some of you may know people that do. So the reality is, they're saying no. That's what they're going by. and it is their platform. This is the cake they're baking, and they're deciding who they want to bake a cake for. Think of it in those terms. Still their platform, their business. If that's what they want to do, fine. Let them. Find another platform. Nobody's taking away his right to say something. They're just taking away his right to say it on there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. I have got a poll question up today. You could take that poll question, kids, if you would, please. And it's about Trump and all that's going on with Trump. How do you feel about the president kind of admitting that he kind of knew of a meeting at Trump Towers with his son and several Russians? 16% say it's fake news. 18% say it's confusing, and I understand that. 48% say it's bad for Trump. 18% said, what meeting? I think it's a little bit of confusion, and I think it's a little bit, it definitely is bad for Trump. It doesn't make him look good. It doesn't. It's not helping him at all. And I think the more he tweets about it, the more frustration and anger he shows about it, the more that this just is, it's not good. And I think he needs to stop tweeting about it, stop talking about it, stop addressing it, let the Mueller investigation take its natural course as it's going through. And I understand that most of this now is the bullseye is on your son. Because there's no collusion as far as it was. Look, we can look all day. But we wouldn't have to look far because somebody would tell us. The leak would come out. The reality is they've moved on from there and they're on to something else, and they may have something where the gotcha moment is there, and all they're doing is giving you more and more rope, and you're taking it. So stop addressing it. Talk about all of the things you want to talk about, whether it's the economy, some of the, how you want to fix immigration, all of these things as you move towards the midterms. Because that is vitally important. Because here's the deal, right? Win or lose when it comes to the Mueller investigation, meaning nothing comes out of it other than what we've already seen. If you lose in November, you're going to have 2 years of hell with Democrats, with subpoena power, all kinds of issues. So if it's me, I'm hyper-focused on getting the Republicans over the line. And this doesn't help. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
You call it ridiculous. We call it reality with a twist. Say what?
Say what? Some 75,000 people were there at the Wacken Open Air Fest in northern Germany, billed as the world's biggest heavy metal festival. Among the bands playing this year, Judas Priest, and among the metalheads, 2 unidentified elderly men who sneaked out of their nursing home about 25 miles away.
That's right. 2 old people who just wanted to rock.
Police found the pair at 3 a.m, disoriented and dazed and, quote, reluctant to leave. But they did in a taxi escorted by a patrol car. Police said the men obviously liked the metal festival. Organizers tweeted, "You're never too old to rock."
That's right. You're never too old to rock. How awesome is that? Isn't that cool? I want to rock. The Wacken. See here. They got Danzig. Didn't he talk about Danzig? Right? Who do you think their favorite was? Do you think it was Judas Priest, Danzig, or Hatebreed? I'm going with Hatebreed. And damn Grandpa never loves he loves Hatebreed. I love Hatebreed. This is my favorite. Of course, it's a Hatebreed. That's what they do. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but this is a what? It's called a 50-50 birthday. They're rather popular amongst the youths of America, especially their hippy-dippy moms and dads.
My name is Ryder, and I'm 8 years old. I raised $250 by birthday, putting money in the cards they gave me, where you get money and give half of it to like a charity, where people don't have enough money to have homes and don't have enough food and stuff, and I want to help them.
That's great. You want to help people. My little brother was invited to one of these. My mom's like, no. You go to the party, take a present. Like, and so what it is you give, say what, Jen? You give money. So all you give is cash, right? And then that child will choose the charity, sometimes before, sometimes after, of who gets the cash, and the other half of the cash goes to the child to buy whatever present the child wants to buy. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to that. Right? It's a birthday party. Jack just had his birthday party. He had presents, and we were talking about this. I was talking to several of the mothers and fathers about this stuff because it's the audacity to ask for cash to give to a charity. And then you don't want to be the one that here's $5, right? I don't really care. Like, that's what it just feels awkward, right? And I'm not a fan of that. I'm sorry. And I hate it on Facebook. And you know who you are out there. It's your birthday. In lieu of a happy birthday or presents, I'm raising $250 for I don't care. That's not very nice. You're not a giving person. No, I'll give it home, give elsewhere, but I don't want to donate to your charity. Have you seen those, Producer Phil? Like people on Facebook where it's like their birthday and they're like, in lieu of presents. I wasn't getting you a present anyways. And secondly, I'm not giving you. That drives me crazy. Chad, that's not very nice. No, it's probably not very nice. I'm probably not a nice person. You're a jerk. A little bit. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. What do you think of what Trump is doing when it comes to the tweeting craziness? Because I'm at the point now where my frustration is up to here of the tweet craziness of now. It started out with there was no collusion. I still think there's a collusion, but along the way we have changed our tweets, and I've said it over and over. I think President Trump at times has a very loose relationship with the truth, meaning he'll say, I caught a fish. Oh, really? What kind? It was a great white shark. It was a bluegill. You did catch a fish. It wasn't a great white shark. You didn't have to tell us you caught a great white shark. And I think this loose relationship along the way is going to get him in trouble. And for a long time, I have said my biggest fear is Trump is going to get dragged into something when it comes to his son, Don Jr. Supposedly this meeting that took place at Trump Tower, the whole Russia thing, Jared Kushner was there, but Don Jr., I think, got pulled into something that he may not even have known was going on until after the fact. And Trump's like, it was just about, getting information and dirt, which we all know everybody does. So to me, that means nothing. But it's the getting caught up into now you're trying to protect your son. And as any father would do for their child, son or daughter, you may go to great lengths to protect them because you don't want to see them get in trouble. And in doing so, you may put yourself in actual jeopardy as well. And that is always been, when it comes to this situation, the fear I look at is this is going to be the biggest problem he's going to have. And it might be headed there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. How do you feel about it? What do you think of Trump and the meeting and the knowing of the meeting with his son and several Russians? 16% of you say it's fake news. 17% say it's confusing. 48% of you say it's troubling for Trump. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. It is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Feeling the
Even
heat.
though it's 110 degrees in this crazy room,
Saturday night at a sweltering Ohio rally, the president raised alarm over ongoing election interference.
We got to stop meddling. We got to stop everybody from attacking us. But there are a lot. Russia's there. China's there.
But by this morning, he was running a fever on Twitter, denying a news report as a complete fabrication, that I am concerned about the meeting my wonderful son Donald had in Trump Tower.
Oh, Trumpy. What are you going to do? I've always said, right, that my biggest fear out of all of this is Donald Jr. is going to get implicated in something and he's going to change the story. Things are going to happen, and that is going to be Trump. If there is a downfall of Trump, it's not going to be something he did, right? We can argue about policy all day. We can argue about a lot of stuff. We can argue about the fact that, it's no argument. I say this. He's got a loose relationship with the truth. He flips, he flops, the whole 9 yards, and he goes on and does his thing. But the reality is, when it comes to serious stuff, his biggest issue that he is going to have is his son. So first it was, there was no meeting. And then there was a meeting, but it was, didn't really know about it. Then there was a meeting, but we didn't really understand what was going on, and there was nothing came out of it. Then it was about adoptions. Then it was about, next thing you know, it's just about to get dirt, no collusion. Hey, dirt's dirt, right? You'll get it from anywhere. I've said it over and over. If you would have given Hillary the opportunity to get dirt that may put President Trump, then candidate Trump, out of business, if you will, and usher her to the White House, she'd have done it in a heartbeat. She would have absolutely done it in a heartbeat. Not a crime. But lying to the feds, ooh, kids. Lying to the feds is not good. And Donald Trump Jr. could have gotten himself in a wee bit of trouble here. Could have. I'll be honest with you on that, right? So you Trump sycophants out there, they're going to attack me. The reality is the story has changed on numerous occasions. And it's changing again. And a lot of people I've talked to along the way who are huge Trump supporters are saying, you could be right, Chad. Cover up. It's the thing you get in trouble for. Rarely is it the crime, and this may be one of those times where Trump has stepped in and he's wanting to protect his kid, and in doing so, he may step right in it.
That June 2016 meeting included a Kremlin-linked Russian lawyer and lobbyist, along with the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner, and then campaign chairman Paul Manafort. But today, the president changed his story, dropping the earlier claim that Russian adoption policy had been the focus. This was a meeting to get information on an opponent, totally legal. He adds, I did not know about it.
Well, I find that hard to believe at this point in time, and the flipping and the flopping, and I don't think there's any there still. And I think if there was there, we would know about it, Marco Rubio.
If there was evidence, strong evidence of collusion, I guarantee you it would have been leaked by now. But let's wait for the process to play itself out. And I think that's what should happen. Mueller should continue. He should finish his work, and the truth should come out. And I think that's in the best interest of everyone.
Yeah, I think it's in the best interest of everyone, too. And I want to see it come out and let the truth come out. My biggest issue, though, is the looseness with the truth on this that's going to get you probably in some trouble. That is the reality of it. When you look back at people who get in trouble, people like Bill Clinton, oh man, I'll tell you, oh man, come on now. What was it for? Playing with the truth. That's what it was for. It wasn't because you dipped your toe in it, if you will. It was other things like lying. And when you do that, the feds come. The feds come when you lie. Martha Stewart didn't go to jail because of insider trading. She went to jail because she lied. And the feds don't like being lied to. You tell the truth, it'll set you free. Don't give them anything to go on. Tell them everything that you can tell them. Be open, be honest about it. And they don't got anything. But what happened here is I have a feeling that Don Jr. got himself in trying to help his pops, right? Thinking he was doing the right thing. And what ends up happening along the way? Story gets muddied. Not everybody's on the same page. It's flipping and flopping, and I don't think that looks good for Don Jr. And when it doesn't look good for Don Jr., Dad's going to step in, and when Dad steps in, that's what they're looking for in the gotcha moment.
Ken Starr, back with the Clinton investigation, determined that lying to the public could be, in and of itself, a ground for impeachment.
Think about that for a second. There may be a witch hunt when it comes to the Russia. But along the way, during the witch hunt, by fabricating stories, by saying this and not saying that, and there's a reason that Mueller's going to interview him last, probably, Don Jr., is because he's going to have all of the notes in front of him. They're going to know everything they need to know. They're going to know all of these things, and they're looking for the ha-ha moment. All you had to do was, look, met with some people, thought it was going to be this. It turned out to be nothing. We were looking for dirt. They said they had some dirt. They wanted to talk about a bunch of other crap. It was a nothing burger, and you move on. But instead, story 1 becomes story 2. Story 2 becomes story 3. Story 3 becomes story 4. Story 4 becomes story 5. Everybody's got a little bit of a different story. And now the aha moment that they're looking for may be there. Can't get collusion, right? Because that, as Marco Rubio said, at some point in time, that would have come out by now. But the reality is, you've said some things, that looseness with truth, particularly when it comes to your son. And how much are you willing to go to the mat for your kid? I think Trump is willing to go all the way to the mat for his kid. And the fear is, come election time, that there is a blue wave. And then all of a sudden, he's looking over, and he doesn't see his pals and his buddies over there on the right that could protect him. And instead, it's the left, and they're going to be saying, impeach, 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 impeach. It's frustrating. It is. The tweeting, the craziness, the wackiness, the entire drama that surrounds you. And what I also think is frustrating about is what's going to happen from here on out. Is this what politics is going to be like from now on? Is catching people in the gotcha moments? Frustrating. It is. But he's got a real loose relationship at times with the truth. And he changes and he flip-flops. And some of it you just look and go, A lot of what it is, it's fishing stories. I caught a fish that was this big. Well, the fish was really that big. That's a lot of what his truth is. I saw something in the sky. I couldn't identify it was a UFO. I think it was a plane. It was probably a plane. There was something there. That's what's going to catch him. And Don Jr., they're looking around. He wants to protect his dad. His dad wants to protect his son. People are willing to go to the mat for each other, their family. And there's one thing that I can never deny is Trump loves his kids. Absolutely loves his kids, adores his kids. I think Don Jr. got himself in over his head in situations, was catfished somewhat, and this is coming back to bite him in the ass. And Pops doesn't want to see that. And how much of a part did he play along the way that's going to get him in trouble? And that's why when you sit there and they're going to, because you know you're getting brought in, what's going to happen from there? Better have your stories lined up, kids. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Hope you're doing well. We've got a Twitter poll up right now, and I'm hearing from several of you. Some of you mad at me, of course, because I'm not a Trump sycophant and going to go along with everything. And others are going, this disturbs me. How do you feel about the president admitting that he knew of a meeting at Trump Towers with his son and several Russians? And 12% say it's fake news. 19% say it's confusing, but 50% of you right now say it's bad for Trump. 19% you say, what meeting? Right? because you're like busy doing other stuff. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. AMAC, amazing. I've partnered with them, Association of Mature American Citizens, otherwise known as AMAC. Look, AMAC is focused on protecting the interests of Americans like yourself, mature Americans, meaning anybody 50 or older. So I've partnered with them, and they've got a great opportunity for you to join today for 1 year for absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. You get all these benefits. And they do great things. They offer alternative perspectives on how to solve problems like Social Security reform, protecting our borders, common sense immigration laws, fixing Medicare, things like that. But on top of that, they do so many other things. They have all these great membership benefits for you, like 40% off movie tickets, 40% off amusement parks like Disneyland, Disney World, Sea World, Legoland, things like that. Travel discounts, discounts for all kinds of things like retail and restaurant discounts, hotels, cars, things of that nature. And you can join for free. A year membership for free. It doesn't cost you a penny. There's no tricks, no gimmicks, no games. It's free. All you have to do is go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. They're not even going to ask you for a credit card. It's a free membership for a year. Go to amac.us/Chad. Or you can call old style 888-355-1668. That's 888-355-1668 or online at amac.us/Chad. You will not be disappointed. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. Alex Jones. What's going on? Straight ahead, Chad Benson Show.
Feel free to punk this punk rocker any time of the day or night. Reach Chad on Twitter at Chad Benson Show and on Instagram at Chad Benson Show. And oh yeah, the Chad Benson Show on Facebook too. Punk that.
So, Alex Jones, man, is in the crosshairs, if you will, of the social media companies. And he's paying a price. Facebook and Apple have removed pages and podcasts for hate speech violations, and they're coming down on him hard. They are absolutely coming down on him. Facebook today announced it was removing 4 of Jones' pages for persistently uploading content in breach of the social media's network's content guidelines. In July, Facebook removed 4 of Jones' videos and hit his own personal profile with a 30-day ban over what the firm deemed as a violation of its policies on bullying and hate speech. They're coming from Spotify, pulled several of Jones' podcasts. YouTube declined to comment on whether or not the company was also going to take down Alex Jones' page, but apparently they have jumped on that as well. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Chad, you just don't understand I'm here because frogs are frogs, but they're frog humans. 9/11 was an inside job. All crisis actors wasn't even real. It's hard to take him serious. People who take him serious, I've wondered people who take him serious. I always thought, it's a bit off there, right? Have you ever met anybody who's an Alex Jones, like, take her serious kind of person?
Oh, I used to work with one.
Like, how do you don't take him serious? Like, you can't.
I can't, no.
Yeah, no. Some people do. Some people totally buy us. What do you mean? It's all real, Chad. It's everything. Chad, you don't understand. It's all real. Everything real. Whatever I say is the gospel. I just can't say it on Spotify anymore. Crisis actors, everybody. YouTube's not even real. I own it. I'm Steve Jobs. I invented the iPhone. Nobody can stop me. I'm coming to get you. Here's my issue. Like Apple and everybody removing it because it's hate speech. And it's their company. If they want to do that, it's fine. Let America choose, right? Put it out there. Let America choose. Let America choose. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're not pulling all and we can all see it. When there are people out there on the left, they don't have the following that Alex does. who are just as bad in some of their craziness, in their antics. What are you doing there? Let America choose. If they don't want to listen to Alex, they're not going to listen to him. If there is an appetite for that, then allow that to be. Well, it's hate speech. I can go on Apple and find 1,000 songs that are full of hate speech, or what is deemed now as hate speech. You're walking a fine line when you're trying to police, and the only side that seems at times to be policed are the people on the right. I don't really find him to be all that entertaining. I think he preys on a part of society that is... I know people who listen to him and they laugh and they think it's funny. They understand that it's not real and that it's all, he's just out there just doing his thing, right? But there are plenty of people who buy into this crap, right? And he's preying on that segment of society that is really looking for all of the truth, man. I got everything. Everything I say is truthful. It's not real. None of it's real. All of these people in Sandy Hook are fake. Sandy Hook's not even a place on a map in America. It's all baloney. Like that stuff, let people decide for themselves. And that's my fear with Apple and with a lot of these things is you're coming in deciding who should or shouldn't be in Facebook jail or taking off Apple and the iTunes and getting rid of this here and Spotify. That right there, you're not letting Americans decide. Let them decide. Because if you're going to do it for one side and you're not doing it for another, then you're showing your colors, which we already know what your colors are. You're all blue and you have very little red. Let America decide. And if they want to get fooled by this guy, then let them. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So a dad posts something on Facebook. It makes me laugh. We'll talk about it straight ahead. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Oh, what a day. A lot of stuff to talk about. We're trying to crab it all in, kids, as we do. You can always reach the program 323-538-2423, 323-538-2423. Talking about Trump and his flipping and flopping, and I knew this and I didn't know that, then I did know this and I did know that. And many of you are chiming in about that. We've got a poll question up. How do you feel about it, right? Like, how does it, now that you know, okay, maybe the truth is changing a little bit, that maybe he did know something and he didn't know something when it came to the meeting at Trump Towers. 51% of you say it's bad for Trump. 51% of you say it's bad for Trump. And I think it is a bad look for him because the flipping and the flopping, I get it. You know, politics is about highlighting the best and ignoring the rest. All politicians do it. My numbers are great. They're huge. And then you go out there and you say, okay, your numbers, you got 48% of people like me. You ignore the fact that 52% of you don't. All right. You highlight the best of it. My numbers are better than they were 6 months. You look for the silver lining. Trump here has played some sort of bizarre game along the way. And I think and it's all about protecting Don Jr. Because I think Don Jr. got in over his head and he's got some issues that he needs to deal with and they need to get on the same page. And I think he'll do anything to protect his son, as would most people when it comes to their children. But it's not a good look right now for the president. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Another not so good look for the president was I look at The Office and I have respect for The Office. I think there is a certain area of The Office. It is what it's above everything else, right? And it's The Office. My frustration, like a lot of you out there that I hear from who are huge Trump supporters, is you're sick and tired of his tweeting. Sick and tired of his tweeting. Sick and tired of his tweeting. For whatever reason, and then he goes after people that it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you going after LeBron James? Why are you going after Robert De Niro? Why are you going after people that you shouldn't be going after? Let it go. And that drives me crazy. Over the weekend, he did it again because LeBron James was on with Don Lemon and said that, basically talked about how Trump is using race. And this is his thought. This is his thought. I like LeBron James, right? I think Trump calling him stupid, essentially, is ridiculous. Look at LeBron James. Look at his life. Look what he's done. Not just being an incredible basketball player, arguably the top 2 or 3 basketball players of all time. We can argue about Mike and this. That's what, Trump did. But hammering Don Lemon and LeBron James, there's no reason for it. That, to me, is something that, as far as I'm concerned, the office you're in, you're above that.
Athletics important to these kids? You think it's their minds right now?
No, I think both. I think athletics are important, but also their mind. I think both. When you're a part of sports and you're a part of, it just brings so much camaraderie and so much fun. We are in a position right now in America, more importantly, where this race thing is taking over because I believe our president is kind of trying to divide us.
That's his opinion. That is his opinion. But why do you go out and you essentially call him stupid? He said, well, Don Lemon made him look really smart, which is hard to do. No, LeBron James is a smart dude. He's surrounded himself with good people. He is building himself quite an empire. I think he's worth about $400 million. He's done it from scratch. He's used his ability on the court to make far more money off the court. But he's allowed to have his opinion, and so are you. But at some point in time, you have to say, you know what? I don't need to get into this. I don't need to get into this. I don't need to attack this. I don't need to allow this thing to get under my skin, which is all too often it happens. You don't. You don't. And if you're gonna interject yourself in something like this, talk about the numbers, talk about the unemployment, talk about the unemployment for African Americans, talk about the unemployment for women, do those kind of things. But calling people stupid and low IQ and all of these things, at some point in time, you're above this. The office is above it. And I know you get excited and your base gets excited, like, yeah, enough.
He's dividing us, and what I noticed over the last few months, that he's kind of used sport to kind of divide us, and that's something that I can't relate to because I know that sport was the first time I ever was around someone white, and I got an opportunity to see them and learn about them, and they got an opportunity to learn about me, and we became very good friends. And I was like, oh wow, this is all because of sports, and sports has never been something that divides people. It's always been something that brings someone together.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, I just looked at this, and I think this is another one of those things where I look at Trump and I'm like, you don't need to get into this, right? You shouldn't get into this. There's no reason. But you draw attention to yourself, and you may energize some of your base, but for a lot of other people who are independents out there, they're just like, the office is above this. Absolutely. Above this. 100%. This was another one of those things where it's like, this is unnecessary. You don't need to do this. You don't. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. People are tweeting in and texting in about Alex Jones and YouTube and Spotify, Apple, Facebook suspending or canceling his accounts because of their no hate clause or any of the things that they're citing that he's done wrong. And a lot of people are saying, look, I don't like him, but he's got the right to say it. Nobody's saying he doesn't have the right to say it. What they're saying is, you don't have a right to say it on my platform. That's what they're saying. You don't have a right to say it on my platform. Fine, right? That's their thing. But when you're you can't say, hey, look, we're a company for everybody, regardless of race, religion, any of this stuff. but we don't like hate speech. And then you play a lot of music that has hate speech, and you're picking and choosing. To me, you got to be careful there, right? You got to be careful. When there's plenty of people on the left out there that put stuff all over that is just as offensive to people on the right, and if you're not going to come down on them, then just be open about it. It's our platform. We'll decide who gets to stay or go. That's fine. But I have too many people I know that have been suspended willy-nilly or accounts taken down or whatever because of stuff that you're thinking that was really benign. That was way too benign. And if it happens 10 times, 9 of those are people on the right. So you start to ask the question, and you have a right to ask the question. I say let America decide. Let people decide, right? Let people decide. And if this is something they want, they'll watch it, right? Put a restriction on it in some sort, like a warning. This is a rated R thing. Whatever the reality is it's not happening that way. And people are getting frustrated. And they'll say, look, it's only happening because Silicon Valley is all left, blah, 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 blah. I get it completely. I absolutely get it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So there's a father in Muncie, Indiana. And and I posted a picture on my Facebook. He's sitting there and he's got basically a paddle, like it looks like a miniature cricket bat, but it was the kind of things where you'd get paddled in school or if you're pledging a fraternity. And it says, all right, his name's Dwayne Stamper, and it says Free Ass Whoopins LLC. All right. Parents, your kids need a whoopin'. Summer can't end fast enough. Stop by. I'm set up. No kids over 13. They may whoop me. It's got 8,700 likes, 9,700 comments, 178,000 shares, and growing. And the thing is, right, like you could look at this and say, was that hate? Is that promoting violence? Right? Buddy of mine said the only side effect I got from an ass whooping, if you will, was self-respect. That's what I got. I got some respect out of that. It's true. It is funny, though, because the way that people have reacted to this. Some people, of course, because in our generation, I'm 47. Many of you listening are in and about the same age as mine. Some a little bit older, some a little bit younger. But, a whooping, you knew you were going to get a whooping. You did something wrong. You knew you might get a little bit of a whooping. Like a beating and a whooping are two different things. Can we all agree on that? There's a different. I remember going to school with a kid who got a beating. And even in the 70s, it was so bad that they took him away from his mom and dad immediately. Because the mom didn't say anything, and the dad was awful. Just awful. But a whooping? Totally different, right? A whooping's totally different than a beating. I don't, I don't spank Jack. I've never had to spank Jack. I've never had to slap his hand or anything like that. Parent completely different, like a lot of people do out there in today's age. And for some kids, you know what? Some kids need a little bit more. We've got to the point where we're afraid, and now we reason with our children as if they're grown adults. We allow them to make decisions as they're grown adults. This guy's just basically said, hey, you know what? You having trouble with your kids? A little unruly? Stop on by. He's making a point. I don't think he's really doing it. I think if somebody actually showed up and said, whoop my kid, he probably wouldn't do it. But you get where I'm going with this. Kind of makes you laugh. Makes you think, too. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. And I love how, people start quoting psychologists. Well, according to this, according to that, according to this, according to that, our studies show everybody's got a study for something. You show me a study for something, I can go find you another study for something. You show me a study that this does this, we can find a study that says this doesn't affect this in any way, shape, or form. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. CarShield is amazing. I've got it. You should get it. Not only because I say so, right? Because that shouldn't be good enough. Like, oh, you say so? No. It's because it is so amazing. Extended vehicle protection from CarShield really gives you peace of mind. Your car gets a little bit older. Life gets a little bit more expensive. You don't want to spend money on a new car payment. You don't want that. But you worry about the what ifs. Your warranty's expired and you say to yourself, what if something happened to my car and I want to keep it and then I find out replacing the engine is going to be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Ooh. Even fixing a sensor is going to cost me $1,000 or so. Yee. With CarShield, peace of mind. That's what they give you. They make the entire process of a cover repair so easy. First, they get 24/7 roadside assistance. Phew. A rental car while your car's in the shop for free. So even if you get it to the shop, you're like, oh my goodness, I got no way to get around for 3 or 4 days. No. Don't worry about that. You're going to get a rental car for free. And the shop is the shop that you choose. Let's say you take it to your favorite mechanic or even back to the dealership. They get them paid directly. That right there is amazing. Save yourself thousands of future car repairs. Don't worry, all right, about the what ifs. Get extended vehicle protection like I did from CarShield. Called 800-CAR-6100. That is 800-CAR, C-A-R, 6100. You use the code Benson. It'll save you 10%. Or you can go online, check it out for yourself. CarShield.com, code Benson. That's CarShield.com, code Benson. Will save you 10%. A deductible may apply. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Got your useless factoid of the day. Straight ahead, Chad Benson Show.
A bird in the hand is worth 140 on Twitter, so tweet your beak off at Chad Benson Show Twitter. And if instant gratification is your thing, hit Chad up on Instagram at Chad Benson. Your bird will thank you.
From the American Heart Association says screen time from computers, phones, tablets, video games, TV, and other devices is connected to more sedentary behavior in children and teens that can lead to poor cardiovascular health and obesity.
Wait, what? Sitting around doing nothing can lead to getting fat and obesity? I was unaware of that study. One of those studies out there. So studies, kids. Yes, apparently American Heart Association says screen time, there should come a warning with screen time that sitting around on your ass doing nothing but snacking and watching YouTube and playing video games or television, you may have some issues there.
Though there's no clear link to poor health, researchers are concerned eating behaviors could be affected with kids not noticing when they're full while eating in front of a screen. There's also evidence suggesting screen time can disrupt sleep.
Whoa. Now, not full evidence, but it's possible that can happen. I'm always amazed at studies like this because you know that, right? You know, sitting around on your butt all day doing nothing but snacking out of boredom, because most people don't eat because mom and dad were mean to them or whatever reason. A good portion of people who are overweight, there may be some underlying factors, but the reality is for a lot of people, it's because we're lazy. That's it. We're lazy and we're bored. And so what do? We eat. And it's so much easier to have a snacky cake than to get up and go, you know what, I'm going to walk around the block. Right? It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't. And I'm always amazed. People are like, what's the magic? Because every year and every month there's a new study and a new people. And there's the magic elixir. Okay, this is how you lose weight. You eat a lot of this, very little of this. Now, you can't sustain this for very long unless you're just absolutely you're ADD, right? With the average person's ADD in life. You know, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. No, you have to get rid of that. And you have to be hyper-focused to have this kind of diet and to sustain this lifestyle. Because it becomes a lifestyle. But why would you do that? Right? Like, I like to watch YouTube. I like to watch TV. But sometimes you sit there and go, you know what? Maybe I don't need this. Maybe I can get up and go for a walk. And in 20 or 30 minutes, I can walk or run enough that I could sustain myself a little bit. And maybe instead of having this, I'll have that because everybody wants a magic elixir. Everybody wants a magic elixir. Please give me the pill that would make thine thin. It's amazing. I'm always amazed. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We got a Twitter poll up today. You take it'll be up throughout the day. It's a pretty simple poll. How do you feel about President admitting that he kind of knew of a meeting at Trump Towers, but he didn't know that his son had with several Russians? 15% of you say, it's fake news, Chad. 17% say it's confusing because I think the tweets going back and forth and all this stuff confuses people. 52% of you, though, say it's bad for Trump. And I'm in that camp. I think it looks bad for Trump right now. 16% of you said, what meeting? Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can always tweet at us or text us, 323-538-2423. Your useless fact of the day. Cockroach has been around forever and a day, but do you know termites live longer than any other bug? Scientists estimate a queen could be between 30 and 100 years old. What? That's a long time, man. That's a long time to live if you're a bug. Have yourself a good rest of your Monday. As always, night-night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.